Alright, what's up, guys? So this is my kid deck. I know a lot of you have been asking me for it. For you that don't know what the leader does, you may turn one card from the top of your life cards face up, set up to one of your supernovas type characters with a cost 3 or 8 as active, and give a blocker. So this is the whole deck. It's basically life manipulation, gaining life, turning life face up to give blocker. So the way I run it is just like a life burn slash rush deck. Alright, to start, we have the Monkey D. Luffy Searcher. Look at top five, pick a supernova. This honestly, you get everything with this. I usually get the 8 drop kid. Uh, if I know that I'm gonna need life, then I go for the law. Most of the time, just for these. There is also the one cost Lilith. I run three. I search for the 4 cost law. I search for Kikunojos. And if I don't have it set up right, then I just go for the Basil Hawkins if I don't have it in hand. And you can also go for the events. Not bad. I do run these, the 2 cost beige blockers. It's good blockers, honestly, but then also the ones for turn effect. Against, I know, Ace, against any other that's trying to remove board. Then this, if they try to remove the board, then I could just add it to my life face up, and then get it again, then play it again. Next is 3 cost X Drake. I usually run it as just a 2K, but honestly the active main is pretty cool. You may rest his character, the number of life cards in equal or less than the number of your opponents. You rest up to 1 or 4 costs or less. These always just rest the blockers. Always for late game against Emu or honestly sometimes Ace. Any blocker honestly that's a 4 cost or less. I just rest them, go for game. But usually a 2K. Next is a 4 cost beige. This is a 2K and the trigger up to when your opponent's leader or character cannot attack during this turn. Always comes in clutch, but usually just a 2K. The next is 3 quick Nojos. I just like the trigger, honestly. If your opponent has 3 left life cards, play this card. This is almost like every time. Every time they're at 3 or less, time this gets out, or by the time I take life. I love the on KO. If your opponent has 3 or left life cards, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. Just a heal plus body, 6K swing. Good for Ace, really good for Ace. Now getting into the core of the deck is basically Basil Hawkins. Basil Hawkins play on my second turn when I go second. And sometimes I do leader effect just to block automatically, but if I don't have anything else to play like any body, I just swing with it, then activate as blocker with leader effect, and then I block as well. So it just takes away 2 cards in hand and then a life. Also trigger when I put law. When I play law to put this to life, draw 2 cards, trash 1 card. Really good just to cycle my hand. Play 4. The next 4 cost I have is the law. Like I said, 2K, very good. I always combo it with the 7 cost law. 7 cost law, put this to life. Then once I take the life for the next turn, I just play it out with the trigger. If your leader has supernovas type and you and your opponent have a total of 5 or less life cards, you play this card. It's not bad, pretty good. On play, you just add a life trash card from hand. On your opponent's turn, on KO, add one to the top of your deck. I mean, to the top of the deck to your life cards. Honestly, I run two. You do not have to run this. I never play this out, like ever. But when I do play, I only have two, so when I do see one, I play it out. It sticks on board early game, 7K. They never want to go into this. They never want you to add life. So these are actually good pickups, but these are expensive, and I'm not about to pay like $60, I think it is, for like or 120 for the other copies. So my next 6 cost is Nico Robin. I play this out on my third turn. Pretty good. It just on play trash life if you have 3 or more life. Usually when I play against Ace, if if I have second turn, then I honestly just neg. I can't attack at all, so this just comes out and just hits their life. Also the trigger, I can play any 3 costs or less. I always just play the beige blocker with the trigger. So the 1 of 1 I have in my deck is actually Charlotte Lilin. If you guys don't know what it is, just on play, your opponent chooses either to trash a life or give me a life. The only reason why I play this is because I don't have the other Kumas. And sometimes when I can't find the laws, I have no heals. This is actually pretty good because either way I'm trying to rush down, and if they take the life, then it's easier for me. But if they give me a life, I need heals most of the time. And if anything, I could just pitch it out with one of the events I have that I'll show you later on. So the next card is the 7-cost Slaw. This is what makes you heal and also is the first blocker. Well, the first big body blocker I make. Um, I always play when I have it. If on it, well, it depends. If I'm healthy with life, I don't play this. I just play the 8-cost Slaw that I'll show you in a bit. But I always set up life. I always put that law into life to get out that body when it triggers out. So I'll show you guys some combos. Next card is the 8-cost Slaw. I mean, kid, my bad. The 8-cost kid. On play, you just trash. You rest it. It trashes the opponent life card, and I like the end of turn. You just draw one, trash one. Depending on if I'm healthy in life, then I'll just play the law. If not, then I'll just rush it down with this. I like putting this as the blocker. It holds more value, and it's a 9k blocker. So now for the event cards, I play the 0 cost. Good trigger off of life if you have 0 cards. You may add one card top of the deck, then trash a card from hand. Also, we have like 8 duds in here, or 11 duds. I need to trash some stuff if I don't have no counter. This works pretty good for like late games. The next event card is the You'll Friday Me. If you have 2 or less life cards up to one of your opponent's active character cannot attack during this turn. For 1 cost, that is actually a really good card. This is late game. Really helps late game. It's like a must. I haven't played it in my deck yet, but it's a must. Also, the trigger, play up to 1 card with 6 power or less with the trigger. I could go, if I get this off life, I could go Kikunojo, or I could also go Robin to burn life. Honestly, it really depends what I have in my hand, but these are really good. The last event I have, and this is what literally wins me every game all the time. Uh, 1 Dawn, main counter, up to one of your leader card gains 1000 power during this turn, so literally it stays at 1000 like it stays at 6k. Then if your opponent has 2 or less life cards, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. These rest all emus blockers. Always, like, if they have 2 blockers, I just rest one and they have 1 life and I have a whole board. This is literally game. Also for ace, this always goes into game. Also for trigger, rest up to one of your opponent's characters that cost 4 or less. If I'm like in a bad situation, unhealthy life, this always comes in clutch as well. Just rest the 4 so he can't have an extra attack. So coming into the game, this is your most ideal hand. This is what you want to see all the time. So I'll show you. So turn. So say you go second, right? Tap 2, play off the blocker. Now you just have, just in case they remove your board, then you have that just in case you put it back to life because they're all supernova except this one. So next would be your 4 Dawn turn. So you draw for turn. You have 2 Dawn. You swing 5. They would counter out or take it. You tap the 4. You play out the Basil Hawkins. So I always just use leader effect to make it a blocker. Just in case I do need extra cards, you could just drop the Lilith. Just look for a trigger card or if I need counter. Most of the time though, I don't block. If I like how I have now, I don't block honestly since I don't really have counter in my hand. I just leave it so swing and then block next turn. Alright, now for your 6th Dawn turn, what I like doing is I just swing here, kid, swing, basil. Depends. If they're already at 3 life, I would just play out the Nico Robin first to burn them so they can have 2 life. Then I'll go swing 5, then swing 5. But you can just do either or. Then I'll use Kid's effect to then make this blocker. And then when they attack, make sure you get this first so you could pop up the blocker again. Then you KO with blocker effect. So then it just burns a life. So now on my 8 Dawn turn, just get 2 Dawn. So what I like doing is just 5 lead, 6 lead. They most likely counter out. You go tap 8. You burn life. Before ending your turn, kid effect. You draw 1. See what you have in your hand. We no longer need this card, so you just pitch that. Make blocker. Go ahead and now you have a 9k blocker. So now we'll be like at the 10 Dawn turn. And what I like doing is just tapping 7 for the law. Adding this to life, it'll be an extra body, also a 2k. And then law effect, you give 1 rest to Dawn. So now what you can do is just, you go 7, then you go 8, then you go 9. And then that's just all life. And usually it works out. Always do kid effect at the end. We would not need this. And then block her up. Then now you have that safe. You have a little bit of counter, and then you have the blocker just in case. So around this time, they should usually have 1 life left if they're a 4 life leader. So I usually just tap 1 for Blaze Slice. I put it under just to make sure I know it gains 1,000. Then it could rest one of their 4 cost blockers. And basically just distribute it. I like going 9, swing 9. Then I like going 9, Nico Robin. So I swing 9, Kid. 9, Nico Robin. And then, it depends honestly. Sometimes I go 10 with Kid. Then I go 9 for game with Law. So I just shuffled my deck, and I'll go ahead and show you just raw of what goes through my head when playing Kid. We get the first 5, right? See what we get. So this isn't bad, but I would want more counter. It's not bad, but I usually just go ahead and. So this is actually not bad. I think depending on what deck I'm going against, I would actually keep this hand. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we keep this hand. Also, I'll go ahead and choose second before I drew. Alright, so we draw for turn. Right? We add the 2 Dawn. We tap 1 Dawn to play out the Luffy. We search. Since we have already a lot of burns, we're trying to go for a law. So we don't find a law. So then we just get that 2k. Make sure you add these to the top just in case when you cycle through your deck you get that trigger. So now it'll be the opponent's turn. He'll most likely swing 5. So we'll just counter out that Basil. He'll pass turn. We draw for turn. It's not looking too good. So we'll just add 2 Dawn. We'll swing the 5. We'll tap the 4. We'll go ahead and Basil Hawkins. We'll turn leader effect for blocker. Then we'll make it blocker. So for opponent's turn, we just won't block. We'll take the Basil. Then he'll pass turn. Opponent passes. Draw for turn. It's not bad. We're actually not in a bad spot. We got the 2 Dawn. So it depends at what life the opponent has. Then we could just tap the 6 to play out the Nico Robin, burn the life, go 5, go 5, kid effect, then you block. So he'll most likely hit life, use Lilith effect. Look top 4 for a trigger card. We only got Kikunojo, so we'll add Kikunojo, then just send it to the bottom. So then it's our 8 Dawn turn. We draw for life. We got the law. Depending on if you feel confident with the 3 life, if they have a board, then you can either play the law, but I feel like most of these times I'm confident with it, so I'll just go 5, 5, 6, forcing cards out of hand because he's not going to take the last life. Go ahead and trash life, and then at end of turn, you draw 1 to meal 1. Always take out the non-counters, block her up. They have this up. They're most likely going to go for the Nickel Robin. They never go for the Basil because they don't want to take that last life. But we just dropped the kid, so they're most likely have no life, so they might go for that. But usually they just go for this. So on opponent's turn, we have 2 counters, 2k counters, and then a 1k counter. Try to make this survive using the blocker because it's 9k. Don't throw away your whole hand. Just probably counter out once or twice if you could. But usually, if they attack into this, just let it go. So we're now at a 10 Dawn turn. We draw. We got the law. I go ahead and tap 7. I go ahead and play the law. Law effect. Add this to life so we get that extra body. Then we go ahead and put 1 under. So now I just go 7. Then we go 8. Then we go 9. Then we go ahead and use end of turn effect. Then we just trash the other Kiko. Then kid effect. Go ahead and put this. Always put the kid over the law as blocker. It has more value with that draw one trash one. So now on opponent's turn, we have a lot of counter in hand, so that we could go ahead and like keep it alive. And then also if we block, keep it alive. So usually they go ahead and check 5. Go ahead and play that trigger out. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swings with 1 life or no life at all. So then they pass turn, collect our Dawn. So it's our second 10 Dawn turn. We have 5 bodies. We have Luffy, Robin, Kid, Law, and Law. We draw for turn. Coincidentally, Blade Slice. Tap 1, Blade Slice, add 1000, rest the blocker if they have a blocker. And then you can just go to town, honestly. So what I like to do is just go. So I attach it first. I never swing with leader first. Or honestly, don't even attach first if you're going against yellow. But we just go 8 with the law. We go 8 with the law. Then we go 8 with leader. We go 8 with Nico. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's all over the place. We go 9 with Kid. And then for game, we just go 11 with Law. Well, that's basically the video. Let me know if you guys want to see any sim plays, any other plays against my friends or other decks, or let me know any situations that you want me to go through.